Hello, my name's Arthur Huddleston and I live at 14 Dickens Avenue, New Mills. And it was in New Mills where I was born in 1929. And then eventually we moved to Hayfield and spent most of my childhood in Hayfield. And it was in Hayfield that we were around when Manchester was suffering from the blitz of the war. At the beginning of the war when they had their air raids. And so we could see and hear some of the things that were going on, especially the lights and the flames of whatever was burning in Manchester. We then went through a period when evacuees, of course, came to live in Hayfield, and we had quite a number of them. Especially some from the islands of Jersey and Guernsey and some people like that. And they shared half a day at school, and well, we shared the other half day at school. All kinds of things like that. And I, being the youngest of 8, I had a job of working for a farmer, a blind farmer, who was, funnily enough, he was made blind by some young men larking about at work with caustic rags. The remarkable thing about this man, his name was David Hearson, and he already had a son who was a bit younger than I, and of course we kind of worked and played together. But the remarkable thing about his father was the fact that he could know how to collect money from taking his milk by knowing going around the edges of the coins as to know whether it was a penny or a half crown or whatever, you know. The other thing that he did, he could play the piano marvellously. And we to think they'd do that. It's unbelievable how he managed these cows and whatever else was there, you know. But it was an experience that we all the family used to go there and help them, you know, like we did in those days, you know. But yes, by delivering milk for this gentleman, that's how I first of all met these people that were coming out from Manchester, the Blitz, and he came in a Manchester taxi with a trailer on the behind and some furniture because they'd been bombed, and there were 2 families of them, and they eventually settled in Hayfield, you know, for, well, beyond the duration of the war, but that's what they were. And so we kind of grew up with them, and these evacuees had to share our school, so we either had morning or afternoon when they were there or we were there, and this went on. The remarkable thing that happened during that period was that as a regular annual event, we, from Hayfield School, we used to go and play cricket at New Mills, on New Mills Cricket Ground, against the schools in New Mills. And on this particular occasion, it was an evening, we were playing New Mills Church School, and Hayfield at that particular time were batting, and suddenly, out of the blue, 2 German planes flew by, and they dipped down and started to machine gun the people on the cricket field. And the remarkable thing was that most of the children fell flat on the floor. People who were watching just stood and stared at them. And there at the same time we saw, as they went past, that they let the bombs out, and the bombs actually destroyed a chapel, a tin chapel, and also destroyed a house where a young girl was playing the piano, and the caretaker of the chapel was also killed. And that was the end of the cricket match, and as we got back to Hayfield, of course, what these two planes had done, they'd bombed a part of Hayfield with 3 cottages, and they'd killed, first of all, an evacuee who was in our class at school. She got killed, but her grandma, who was living with her, survived. But in the top house, there's nobody in the middle house, but in the top house was a family called Gibsons, and there was mother, father, and 2 daughters. And they also had 3 sons, but all the sons, 2 were in the Navy and 1 was in the Army, so they weren't there. But who was there was the lady whose mother and father owned the 3 cottages, and she was collecting the rent. So she suffered as well. They were all killed, you know, and whatever happened, and what, for whatever reason, we never knew, you know, other than the fact they were on the way home, these German planes, and they got rid of whatever they got there, whether it was that they had to climb over Kinder to get away, we don't honestly know. This was all supposition by a lot of people, had all kinds of ideas. But that was the part of, didn't help, was that kind of thing. So we were perhaps, I don't know, a bit more careful than how we did things, and thinking it could happen again or whatever.